I escaped the fire after inheriting $200 million. When my sister's husband saw me, he collapsed because I was supposed to be dead and he'd already transferred the moan. Welcome back, family. Don't forget to hit subscribe, say hello in the comments and share where you're tuning in from. With that said, let's jump right into the story. The hospital smell hit me before I even opened my eyes. Antiseptic and death. My throat burned like I'd swallowed glass. I tried to move but pain shot through my ribs. Miss Johnson, can you hear me? A nurse's face appeared above me, blurry at first. You're very lucky. The fire department said you shouldn't have survived. Fire. The word triggered fragmented memories. Smoke choking me, flames eating through my apartment walls, the window I'd crashed through onto the fire escape. I'd been asleep when it started. My cat screaming woke me. How long? I croaked. 3 days. You've been in and out. He adjusted my fore. Your family hasn't visited yet, but they've been notified. That stung but didn't surprise me. My mother, Regina, made it clear after Daddy died that I was the disappointment. My older sister Vanessa was the golden child, married to Alvin, a successful investment banker. I was just Karen, the elementary school teacher who wasted her potential. The nurse handed me my phone, screen cracked but functional. 47 missed calls, but only 3 from family. The rest were from my principal, Mrs. Anna, and my best friend Jasmine. What caught my eye was an email notification from Thompson and Associates law firm, marked urgent, sent 2 days before the fire. Regarding the estate of Aunt Lorraine Johnson, please contact us immediately. My hands trembled. Aunt Lorraine, my father's eccentric sister who'd moved overseas 30 years ago. I didn't even know she'd died. I dialed the law firm, my heart pounding for reasons I couldn't explain yet. The attorney's words would shatter everything I thought I knew. Miss Johnson, I'm Robert Thompson. First, my condolences about your aunt. Second, you need to come in immediately. There are complications with your inheritance. Inheritance? I rasped, my burned throat protesting. I barely knew her. Your aunt was quite wealthy. Tech investments in the 90s, real estate holdings across Europe and Asia. Her estate is valued at $212 million. He paused. She left everything to you. Specifically you, Karen. Not to be shared with other family members. The room tilted. What? She was very specific in her will written 5 years ago. She cited your kindness during her last visit, how you were the only one who talked to her like a person, not a bank account. But Miss Johnson, his voice dropped, your mother and sister have already contacted us. Multiple times. They're quite insistent about contesting the will. My mind reeled. $200 million. I thought about my 1-bedroom apartment, now ashes. My 12-year-old Honda. My student loans. Meanwhile, Vanessa lived in a mansion with Alvin, took yearly European vacations, wore designer everything. When can I come in? I asked. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. But Karen, he hesitated, be careful. Money changes people. Sometimes it reveals who they always were. After he hung up, I stared at the ceiling. The fire suddenly felt different. Coincidental timing? I'd lived in that apartment for 8 years without incident. Then 2 days after a lawyer's email about a massive inheritance, it burned down with me inside. My nurse returned with dinner. Your brother-in-law called. Alvin Winters? Said he'll visit tomorrow. Ice flooded my veins. Alvin never called me. Never visited. Never acknowledged my existence unless Vanessa demanded it. Now he wanted to visit. Vanessa arrived before Alvin, her Louboutins clicking against the hospital linoleum like gunshots. She wore a black Chanel suit, morning clothes but make it expensive. Her perfume, the one that cost more than my monthly rent, filled the room. Karen. She didn't hug me, just stood there appraising me like damaged merchandise. You look terrible. I survived a fire, Vanessa. Yes, tragic. Her tone suggested it was more inconvenient than tragic. Mama's devastated, of course. She wanted to come, but you know her nerves. Why? Mama's nerves only acted up when it suited her. Vanessa sat, crossing her legs, her wedding ring catching the light. A rock that could choke a horse. We need to talk about Aunt Lorraine. There it is. I said. Her eyes hardened. Don't be dramatic. This affects the whole family. $200 million isn't something you just keep to yourself when you have family members struggling. I almost laughed. Struggling? You live in a 6,000 square foot house. Do you know what it costs to maintain our lifestyle? Alvin's business has had setbacks. We've made sacrifices. What sacrifices? Downgrading from Dom Perignon to Veuve Clicquot. Her jaw clenched. You've always been jealous. Always bitter that I married well while you settled for a teacher's salary and a shoebox apartment. Oh wait, she smiled, cruel. You don't even have that anymore. The words hit like fists. Before I could respond, she leaned forward. Aunt Lorraine clearly wasn't in her right mind. She was old, isolated, probably senile. That can be contested. It should be contested. Mama deserves that money after everything she sacrificed raising us alone. She left it to me, Vanessa. She made a mistake. Vanessa stood, smoothing her suit. Be reasonable, Karen. You don't know how to manage that kind of money. You'll waste it. Let the family handle it together. You mean let you handle it? She smiled again, that patronizing smile that had haunted my childhood. Alvin will talk sense into you. He's always been better with financial matters. After she left, I noticed my phone was missing from the bedside table. Alvin came that evening after visiting hours, slipping in like a shadow. Where Vanessa was sharp edges, Alvin was smooth surfaces. Handsome in that calculated way, his suit perfectly tailored, his smile practiced. Karen. He pulled a chair close, his cologne expensive and suffocating. I'm so relieved you're safe. When we heard about the fire, Vanessa was hysterical. Another lie. Vanessa didn't do hysterical. I want to help you, he continued, his voice honey thick. I know my wife can be intense, but she means well. We all do. He pulled out papers from his briefcase. I've drawn up a family trust proposal. You'd maintain control naturally but with professional oversight. I'd manage the investments. No fee, of course, your family. The returns would be distributed based on need. Mama's retirement, Vanessa's and my business ventures, your teaching career support. I stared at him. You've already planned how to spend my money. Our family's money, he corrected gently. Karen, be honest. What do you know about wealth management? Offshore accounts? Tax optimization? You could lose everything to bad investments or predatory advisors. I'm offering to protect you. By taking control. His smile tightened. By providing guidance. You're a school teacher, not a financier. There's no shame in accepting help. I really watched him. The way his eyes kept darting to his phone. The slight sweat on his upper lip despite the cool room. The tremor in his hands he tried to hide. How much do you owe? I asked quietly. His face went blank. Excuse me. You're in debt. I can see it. What happened? Bad investments? Gambling? He stood abruptly, his mask slipping. You don't know what you're talking about. Get out, Alvin. His eyes went cold and for just a second, I saw something terrifying underneath his smooth exterior. You're making a mistake, Karen. A serious mistake. After he left, I called Thompson. I need security on this account. Nobody accesses anything without my explicit permission. Password protected, everything. Already done, he assured me. Your aunt anticipated family complications. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about Alvin's face when I'd asked about his debts. That flash of desperation and rage. And I thought about the fire. I discharged myself against medical advice the next morning. The nurse protested, but I couldn't stay there. Too exposed, too vulnerable. Jasmine picked me up, her eyes widening when she saw me. Girl, you look like you fought a dragon. She hugged me carefully. I've got the spare room ready. You're staying with me, no arguments. Jasmine's apartment was small but felt safer than anywhere else. After settling in, I called a number Thompson had given me. A private investigator named Detective Brenda Carver, retired police, now private sector. We met at a coffee shop. Brenda was 50-ish, sharp-eyed, no nonsense. Mr. Thompson briefs me on all major inheritance cases. Flag potential conflicts before they explode. Your case raised red flags immediately. The fire, I said. The fire, she confirmed. Suspicious timing. I've already pulled the fire marshal's report. They ruled it accidental, faulty wiring. But I looked deeper. Your building passed inspection 6 months ago. No issues. Then suddenly, catastrophic electrical failure. My hands shook around my coffee cup. You think someone? I think it's worth investigating. Tell me about your family. I did. Everything. Mama's favoritism, Vanessa's cruelty, Alvin's smooth manipulation. The way they'd excluded me from family events made me feel small, worthless. How Daddy's death 5 years ago had been the last time I'd felt truly loved by family. Your father, Brenda said suddenly. When did your aunt write her will? 5 years ago, Thompson said. Right after your father died. She came for the funeral. I nodded, remembering. Aunt Lorraine had been the only one who'd sat with me afterward, while Mama held court with mourners and Vanessa complained about the catering. Lorraine had held my hand and said, You're like him, you know. Your daddy. Kind heart, strong spirit. Don't let them dim that light. Brenda made notes. I'll look into Alvin's finances, Vanessa's activities leading up to the fire, and your mother's recent communications. Whatever's happening, we'll find it. After she left, Jasmine sat beside me. This is crazy. You think your family tried to kill you? I don't know what to think. My phone buzzed. Mama finally calling. You ungrateful child, she hissed before I could speak. After everything I sacrificed, you'd keep that money from your own mother? Here we go. Mama, I almost died. And whose fault is that? Living in that death trap apartment because you're too stubborn to accept help. If you'd been living with family like I offered, this wouldn't have happened. She'd never offered. Not once. Lorraine's money belongs to this family, she continued. Your father's family. I'm his widow, I deserve that inheritance. You're being selfish, Karen. Selfish and cruel. Aunt Lorraine left it to me specifically, Mama. Because you manipulated her. You always were sneaky even as a child. Playing the victim, making people feel sorry for you. Well, it won't work this time. I'll contest that will and I'll win. Her words cut deep, hitting old wounds. How many times had she said I was playing victim when I'd come to her crying about Vanessa's bullying? How many times had she chosen my sister over me? Lorraine left you nothing for a reason, I said quietly. Did you ever wonder why? Silence. Then, she was a bitter old woman who abandoned this family decades ago. She knew nothing about our lives, our struggles. She knew enough. She saw how you treated me at Daddy's funeral. She saw everything. You've always been dramatic. I have to go, Mama. Don't you dare hang up on me. Karen. Karen. I ended the call, hands shaking. Jasmine wrapped her arms around me as I cried, not sad tears but angry ones. 32 years of being the scapegoat and now they wanted my inheritance too. That evening Brenda called. Found something. Alvin filed for bankruptcy protection 8 months ago. Dismissed. His investment firm is hemorrhaging money, bad trades, margin calls. He's into private lenders for around $3 million, the kind who break kneecaps when you can't pay. Due date? Next month. My blood ran cold. $3 million. Gets better. I pulled security footage from your apartment building. 2 days before the fire, a man in an electrician's uniform entered the basement. Building has no record of any electrical work scheduled. I'm trying to get a clear image of his face. Alvin wouldn't. Desperate men do desperate things. 200 million would solve all his problems. If something happened to you before you secured the inheritance, it would go to next of kin. Vanessa. Who's married to Alvin. Community property state. That money becomes his too. I felt sick. They tried to kill me for money. We need proof. I'm building a case, but Karen, her voice hardened, you need to disappear. If they think you're onto them, you're in danger. Real danger. Brenda arranged everything. I moved to a corporate housing unit under a false name, dyed my hair, wore glasses. Thompson fast-tracked the inheritance paperwork with a judge he trusted. The money transferred to accounts only I could access with ironclad legal protections. If something happens to you now, Thompson explained, the money goes to a charitable foundation your aunt established as a backup. Your family can't touch it. Meanwhile, Brenda's investigation intensified. She traced the electrician to a shell company. Bank records showed Alvin had paid them $15,000 2 weeks before the fire. The same company had citations for illegal work in 3 states. This is enough for police involvement, Brenda said during our secure phone call. But if you want them to truly face consequences, we need a confession. Something explicit. How? You come back from the dead. The plan was risky. I'd appear at the lawyer's office for a scheduled reading of the will, where family members would be present. Brenda would record everything, hidden cameras, audio devices. If Alvin and Vanessa believed I didn't know about the fire, they might slip up, say something incriminating. They'll be shocked, Brenda said. People say things when they're shocked. True things. I had 1 week to prepare. Jasmine helped me rehearse, but nothing could prepare me for seeing their faces when they realized their murder attempt had failed. The night before, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about family dinners where Vanessa got the biggest portions and loudest praise while I ate in silence. Christmas mornings where her gifts overflowed while mine were practical and sparse. My college graduation where Mama left early because Vanessa needed help picking drapes. And Alvin, always hovering at the edges, watching me with those calculating eyes. Had he been planning this from the moment he heard about the inheritance? Thompson called at midnight. Karen, I need to tell you something. Your aunt left letters for you. She wanted you to read them after the will was settled. But given circumstances, I think you should read one now. He read it over the phone. Dearest Karen, if you're reading this, I'm gone, and I hope I've left you something that changes your life. Your father loved you fiercely, and I see him in every kind thing you do. Your mother and sister will fight you for this money. Let them reveal themselves. They've worn masks so long they've forgotten their own faces. Stay strong. You deserve happiness. Love, Aunt Lorraine. I cried then for the aunt I barely knew who'd seen me when my own family couldn't. Tomorrow I'd face them. Tomorrow the masks would come off. Thompson's conference room was all dark wood and leather chairs, designed to intimidate. I arrived early with Brenda, who'd already planted recording devices everywhere. We waited in an adjacent room with a one-way mirror. Mama arrived first, wearing black with pearls, playing the grieving sister-in-law. Vanessa followed in another designer suit, looking annoyed at the inconvenience. Then Alvin, whose confident stride faltered when he saw the empty chair with my nameplate. Where's Karen? Vanessa demanded. Thompson, playing his role perfectly, looked somber. I'm afraid we've had no contact with Miss Johnson since her hospital discharge. Given the circumstances, we're proceeding with the will reading as scheduled. Alvin's face went pale. What do you mean, no contact? She's missing, Thompson said. But the will is clear. The inheritance transfers to Karen Johnson, regardless of her physical presence today. I watched Alvin through the glass. Sweat beaded his forehead. His leg bounced frantically. Vanessa touched his arm and he jerked away. This is ridiculous, Mama snapped. Karen's probably hiding, being dramatic. That girl's always had a flair for attention. Mrs. Johnson, Thompson continued, your sister Lorraine left explicit instructions. The estate, $212 million, goes exclusively to Karen. There are no provisions for other family members. Any contest will be met with a legal team funded by the estate itself. That's insane, Vanessa said. Aunt Lorraine barely knew Karen. They met, what, twice? 3 times, Thompson corrected. And apparently, those meetings were sufficient for Mrs. Lorraine to form a strong opinion about where her money should go. Alvin stood abruptly. I need air. He stumbled out and Brenda's signal buzzed. She was following him. Through my earpiece I heard him on the phone. It didn't work. I don't know where she is. The money's locked down. No, I can't wait another month, they'll kill me. I know what I owe. He was talking to the loan sharks. Brenda's voice came through. Karen, wait. He's making another call. Through the earpiece. We have a problem. She's alive and the money's already transferred. As alive. The fire didn't. I don't know. But if she shows up. Then the words that made my blood freeze. We need to finish this. Permanently. That's when I walked in. The conference room door opened and I stepped through. The silence was absolute, like someone had sucked all the air from the room. Mama gasped, hand flying to her chest. Vanessa's face went from shock to white-hot fury. But Alvin went gray, stumbling backward until he hit the wall. No, he whispered. No, no, no. Hello, family, I said, my voice steady despite my hammering heart. Sorry I'm late. I had to recover from almost being burned alive. Alvin's legs gave out. He collapsed, sliding down the wall, and for a moment I thought he was having a heart attack. But no, it was pure terror. The terror of a man whose murder plot just walked through the door. How? Vanessa started, but I cut her off. How did I survive? What? The fire department. A window I managed to break through. I moved closer, watching Alvin hyperventilate on the floor. Why are you so shocked, Alvin? It was just faulty wiring, right? That's what the fire marshal said. Just bad luck. Karen, I don't know what you think, he gasped. I think you paid someone $15,000 to burn down my building. I think you needed me dead before the inheritance transferred. I think you're drowning in debt, and $200 million seemed like the perfect solution. Vanessa's eyes widened. Alvin, what is she talking about? It's recorded, I continued. The payment to the shell company. The fake electrician who entered my building. Your phone calls just now talking about finishing the job permanently. Brenda stepped in then, holding up her phone. All of it. Including the part where you planned another attempt on her life. Alvin made a sound between a sob and a scream. I didn't have a choice. They were going to kill me. $3 million by next month or I'm dead. What was I supposed to do? Not murder me. I shouted, months of rage finally exploding. I'm your sister-in-law. I've never done anything to you. I barely existed in your life and you tried to burn me alive. Mama found her voice finally. This is insane. Alvin would never. He confessed, Mama. He literally just confessed. I turned to her, years of pain crystallizing into clarity. And you called me ungrateful while I was in the hospital. Didn't visit. Didn't check if I was okay. Just demanded the money. You want to know why Aunt Lorraine left me everything? I pulled out my phone, opening the photos I'd found in the documents Thompson had given me. She documented everything. Every time she called to check on me and you told her I was too busy to talk. Every birthday card she sent that you intercepted. Every attempt she made to build a relationship that you sabotaged. I showed them the photos, birthday cards addressed to me, dozens of them still sealed. Screenshots of emails Mama had sent to Lorraine, saying I wanted nothing to do with her. Letters Lorraine had written asking about me, expressing concern about the family dynamics she'd observed at Daddy's funeral. You kept us apart, I said to Mama, my voice breaking. Because you knew. You knew she saw through you. Mama's face crumpled, but it wasn't guilt, it was rage. She had no right to judge me. I raised you girls alone after your father died. Everything I did was for this family. You raised Vanessa, I corrected. You tolerated me. Vanessa finally spoke, her voice cold. You're really going to stand there and play victim? You always did this, Karen. Poor, pathetic Karen, nobody loves her. Maybe there's a reason we kept our distance. What reason? I demanded. What did I ever do except exist? Except not be you. You were a burden. Vanessa exploded. Do you know how many opportunities Mama missed because she had to deal with you? How many times I had to cover for your awkwardness, your poverty, your embarrassing career choice? You made us look bad. The honesty was startling, brutal. This was what they'd always thought, said behind closed doors. Alvin needed this money, Vanessa continued, moving to her husband who was still slumped against the wall. We needed it. You would have wasted it on some stupid causes, student loan forgiveness, or giving it away to your broke teacher friends. We would have invested it, grown it, built something real. By killing me. He didn't. Vanessa stopped, looking at Alvin. Really looking at him. Alvin, tell her. Tell her you didn't actually try to kill her. His silence was deafening. Vanessa's face transformed, realization dawning. Alvin, Alvin. I had to, he whispered. I'm dead without that money. Actually dead. They'll kill me, Vanessa. They'll make it look like an accident and you'll be a widow. I did this for us. For us. Vanessa's voice pitched higher. You tried to murder my sister. Your sister who you just called a burden. Alvin screamed back. Your sister you've complained about for years. Don't act like you care now. The room descended into chaos. Vanessa attacked Alvin, nails raking his face while he tried to shield himself. Mama screamed for them to stop. Thompson called security. Brenda was on the phone with the police. And I just stood there watching my family tear itself apart. Security pulled Vanessa off Alvin. His face was bleeding, her designer nails having drawn blood. She was crying now, but I couldn't tell if it was grief or rage or fear. How could you? She kept repeating. How could you? The police arrived. Brenda had already briefed them, had all the evidence ready. They arrested Alvin for attempted murder, conspiracy, arson. He didn't resist, just kept muttering about the loan sharks, about being a dead man anyway. As they let him out, he looked at me. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Karen. I didn't want to, but they would have killed my whole family. I thought if it was quick you wouldn't suffer. The smoke would get you first. The casual horror of it, he'd planned my death considering my comfort. I wanted to vomit. Vanessa collapsed in a chair, her perfect facade shattered. Mascara streaked her face. Her hands trembled. I didn't know. You have to believe me, Karen. I didn't know. But you would have accepted the money, I said quietly. If I'd died and the inheritance came to you, you would have taken it. Used it. Never questioned the timing. She opened her mouth, then closed it. We both knew the truth. Mama grabbed my arm. You can't let them take him. Think about Vanessa, she'll be alone. Think about family. I pulled away. I am thinking about family. I'm thinking about how my family tried to kill me for money. I'm thinking about how you're more worried about Alvin's arrest than my almost murder. Don't be dramatic. Get out. I screamed. All of you get out. I never want to see any of you again. Thompson gently escorted them out while I broke down. Brenda held me while I cried. Not sad tears, but the release of 32 years of carrying the weight of being unwanted. It's over, Brenda murmured. You're safe now. But I didn't feel safe. I felt hollow. That night in Jasmine's apartment, I read the rest of Aunt Lorraine's letters. Each one broke my heart a little more. She'd wanted to be part of my life. Had tried for years. Every rejection Mama's doing. One letter stood out. Karen, your father told me once that you were his proudest achievement. Not your grades or accomplishments, but your heart. She sees people, he said. Really sees them. Don't let the world take that from you. Don't let cruelty make you cruel. Alvin's trial happened fast. His confession, the evidence, everything stacked against him. He pleaded guilty to attempted murder and arson. 25 years, eligible for parole in 15. The loan sharks he'd mentioned? The FBI investigated, finding a whole network of illegal lending and violence. Alvin's testimony bought him protection in prison, but destroyed any chance of a reduced sentence. Vanessa divorced him before the sentencing. She came to my lawyer's office one more time, 3 months after everything imploded. She looked different. Smaller somehow without the designer armor. Her hair was pulled back simply. No makeup. She looked like she'd aged a decade. I'm not here for money, she said before I could speak. I need you to know I didn't know what Alvin was planning. I wouldn't have, her voice cracked. I wouldn't have let him hurt you. Not like that. But you would have taken the inheritance if I'd died. She nodded slowly. Yes. And I have to live with that. With knowing that my first thought when you were in the hospital wasn't relief that you survived, but anger about the money. She wiped her eyes. I'm not asking forgiveness. I don't deserve it. I just wanted you to know that I see it now. What Mama did to us, pitting us against each other. How she made your existence a competition I had to win. That doesn't excuse. I know. Nothing excuses it. I'm in therapy now. Working through it. But Karen, she looked at me directly, maybe for the first time ever. You deserved better. From all of us. Especially from me. I should have been your protector, not your tormentor. I'm sorry. After she left, I cried again. Because part of me had wanted her to be completely evil, irredeemable. It would have been easier than this. Her humanity, her regret, the acknowledgement that we'd both been damaged by Mama's toxicity. Mama never apologized. She sent letters claiming I'd destroyed the family, that I was selfish for not dropping charges against Alvin. I stopped reading them. The money, that staggering amount, sat largely untouched while I figured out what to do with it. Thompson helped me set up foundations. One for fire victims, one for teachers' student loan relief, one for domestic violence survivors. I kept enough to live comfortably, bought a small house, paid off my debts. But money couldn't fix the hole where family should have been. 6 months later, I visited Daddy's grave for the first time since his funeral. I brought flowers and Aunt Lorraine's letters. I miss you, I whispered. You would have known what to do with all this. A year after the fire, I stood in front of my new classroom, first graders wide-eyed and eager. Teaching was still my calling even with millions in the bank. Maybe especially because of it. These kids needed someone who saw them, really saw them. During recess my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer but something made me. Karen, it's Vanessa. I hadn't heard her voice in months. What do you want? Nothing. I swear nothing. I'm getting remarried. To someone good this time, someone real. And I wanted you to know that when we have kids I'm going to do better. Be better. Break the cycle. She paused. You probably don't care but I needed to say it. I do care, I admitted. And Vanessa, I hope you mean it. Those kids deserve an aunt who shows up, who sees them. Who loves them without conditions. Like Aunt Lorraine did for you. Yeah. Like that. After we hung up I thought about forgiveness. I wasn't there yet, maybe never would be. But I wasn't bitter anymore. The money had given me freedom but healing had given me peace. That evening Jasmine came over with wine and pizza, our Friday tradition. You ever regret it? She asked. Pressing charges? Cutting them off? No. I meant it. They needed to face consequences. Real ones. And I needed to stop accepting crumbs of affection from people who saw me as less than. Aunt Lorraine would be proud. I think so too. I donated to schools in Aunt Lorraine's name, created scholarships for kids in foster care, funded arts programs that Mama had always deemed wasteful. Every dollar felt like honoring both Lorraine and Daddy, their belief that I was worthy, valuable, enough. The scars from the fire faded. The scars from family took longer but they faded too eventually. I learned that sometimes the family you're born into breaks you. But you can build new family, friends who show up, communities that value you, and the relationship with yourself that says, I deserved better and I'm worthy of more. Alvin is still in prison. Vanessa sends Christmas cards now, which I sometimes read. Mama passed away last year, heart attack. I went to the funeral, stood in the back, left before anyone could approach me. The money? It's doing good in the world, helping people who needed someone to see them, to believe in them. Me. I'm happy. Genuinely, surprisingly happy. Because I learned the hardest lesson. You can't make people love you. You can't earn abuse into affection. Sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is walk away from people who can't see your worth and build a life where you see it yourself. If this story resonated with you, please like and subscribe. Share your own stories of family betrayal and healing in the comments. Sometimes, sharing our truth is how we break the cycle and help others find their strength. You are worthy. You are enough. And you deserve people who see that.